Hi guys, T here. Here for another spur-of-the-moment vlog check-in kind of video. While I have you all here right at the very beginning, Library Owl number 2 just came out, so everybody go and see it, because it took for freaking ever. Writing and editing and recording and editing more and doing the art and voice acting, getting my wife to come and voice act for a character, it took for fucking ever. So, Library Owl number 2, The Iron Puppet. Link in the description below. Go listen to it. It's amazing. It took for fucking ever. Anyway, what have I been up to lately? The 7th volume of Beastars came in. That's been pretty cool. And introduces probably one of my favorite characters to the series so far. And for those of you that have read it, the security guard, oh, loved it. That's amazing. 6 eyes indeed. But like I was talking about last time, these come out like every 2 months. So this was a nice surprise to see in my mailbox. I think last Tuesday or something like that. And I had kind of a crazy work week, so I had to just kind of sit it to one side and not read it for a while, even though manga only take like 30 minutes, but it was just go, go, go all week. And I couldn't sit and enjoy it, so I had to wait for just a little bit, and I think I read it like Friday of this week, so I'm enjoying it a lot, and like I said before, I think there's like 19 of these out in Japan, and with the show going on, I wish these would release every month instead of every other month, because the show is going to outstrip the comics pretty soon, and that's not cool, because I'm not going to be able to resist watching the show. It's freaking awesome, too. What else? I just finished, I went looking for like a lighthearted video game recently, and I just finished playing Ratchet and Clank, the remake, the 2015 remake. And I know I'm a few years off from when that was relevant, but I'm sure a bunch of you guys saw the PS5. A bunch of trailers came out, one of which is another Ratchet and Clank game, and I'm leaning pretty heavy on buying a PS5, but I need like a system seller, you know, I need like Persona 6, or my wife would need like the next Monster Hunter. I'm not really seeing anything that's gonna make me spend the $500 unless it's got like 100% backwards compatibility and I can move all my information from the PS4 to the PS5, and I just don't see that happening because Sony just doesn't do that for some godforsaken reason. So while Nintendo makes tons of money re-releasing things over and over and over for nostalgia, Sony just keeps plowing ahead, and hey, you know, if your PlayStation stops working someday, oh well. And is anybody else kind of bothered, by the way, the PS5, like there's 2 different versions, one of which doesn't even have a disk drive. So it's like, it's going to be exclusively like downloaded content online all the time, etc., etc. So what happens when they move to the PS6? You're just fucked. Whenever somebody throws the Switch, you just can't play those games anymore. You know, what about like some folks that like to like collect games or have physical copies of everything? Like, I have physical copies of all the Dot Hack games, and those things are worth like 60, 80, $100 a piece, because they're collector's items now. I imagine there's something in the PS4 library that might be worth some money. I don't know. It kind of loses its appeal if it's just a box on your entertainment system. I don't know, maybe I'm old-fashioned like that. There's a bunch of people that like to collect N64 games or SNES games or things like that. The idea of a system with like nothing for me to hold in my hands feels kind of strange. But yeah, I was playing Ratchet and Clank, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I do understand that it's very different from the original. It was supposed to be like a reboot or a reimagining, but a bunch of the stuff I've read online said that it's like completely different. Like, the levels might be the same, but the story has completely changed. Like, he used to be kind of like a like trigger happy bad boy that goes out of his way to cause mischief because that was the kind of guy he was. But the one in this reboot that I played is like a starry-eyed like Boy Scout that worships the Galactic Rangers, which kind of goes against the grain when you can run around with like a flamethrower. You know, it's hard to come across as super innocent. When they gave him like great big sparkly eyes so they can sell plushies to all the kids and stuff like that. But like he used to be kind of a jerk. And Clank was supposed to be like the balm to like bring him down so they could kind of meet in the middle so he wouldn't be like as harsh as he was when he started. But a bunch of the story elements changed. Some people think it's for the worse, some people don't care, some people went into it blind like me. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game until now, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, I found, like, for those of you that have played the games, I found 8 of the 28 golden bolts, and I found all 9 of the Rhino cards without any guides. And Rhino, you know, rip you a new one. That's a great name for a gun. I love that. And yeah, it sliced through the final boss in like 11 seconds. It was the most anticlimactic thing I'd ever seen in my life. But I did the work, I did the footwork to get like the big overpowered gun that you have to span the whole game to get all the pieces so that the guy will give it to you. But it was a lot of fun. It was so well written and like genuinely funny. Like, I'm sure there's playing the original like PS2 game had like a different vibe or different writing, etc., etc. But I had a lot of fun playing Ratchet and Clank. That was pretty cool. I'm sure a bunch of you noticed that we finished the Call of Cthulhu Let's Play. So that was good. I finished playing that game like over a month ago, and only just now did the videos catch up, because I sat for like 3-hour blocks, you know, one after another for 3 weekends to play like this 10-hour game. And I think I splurged on the last one to like a 4-hour sit down, because it was like a 10-hour game with light puzzle elements, with light stealth elements. But I actually started looking at other people's Let's Plays to see like what decisions can happen ultimately if you just play in a completely different way that I did. Like, if you go through my Let's Play, you know, from my perspective, I'm not sure the character Cat had any reason to be in the game. Like, yeah, some of her flunkies guard one of the doors that you need to go through, but you can get rid of them so easily they may as well be like drunken sailors or just random thugs. There didn't really need to be like a boss lady who would just swing by now and then to threaten you, or even when she was at the art collector's house, like, it wouldn't have changed the narrative if she wasn't there. It's like, I don't know if she was supposed to be a red herring or if she was just supposed to like fill in some empty airtime or what, but if there are probably other decisions that you can make through the game, because it's very very dialogue heavy, since it's basically a walking simulator. Let's not beat around the bush. Maybe if you make a completely different set of decisions than I did, she becomes important, or she something else happens to her or happens to you because of her. But like the story decisions that I made, she may as well not have been there. So I was just, along with all the other problems that the game had, Cat didn't seem to have a reason to exist, which in writing is called deadwood, which you need to chop out as much of that as you can. You know, like, a good engineer knows that his project is complete not when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. The same goes for writing. Unless they put her in there to like make fun of H.P. Lovecraft, because like one of the quirks of his writing is that he uses 10 words when one will do. Like, if you had a character named like Carl, and Carl was a policeman, a regular writer would say Carl was a policeman. And H.P. Lovecraft would say something like, Carl, if you asked him of his profession, would tell you that law enforcement had been his passion for the past 26 years. And it's like, just say Carl's a policeman. You don't need 20 words. Maybe that's what they were poking fun at. I don't know. But that was an experience. And I've been eyeballing another game for a Let's Play called Moons of Madness, which is basically Call of Cthulhu in space. But it's another like 5 to 10 hour Lovecraftian kind of games. And I do, yeah, people give walking simulators grief, but I kind of like them. They're not hard. They don't take a lot of twitch reflex skill, things like that. So I kind of like some of them, especially the scary ones that don't have a lot of like jump scares, because I appreciate atmospheric games like Dear Esther. What else is going on lately? Oh yeah, I discovered an MMO that I'm gonna want to play someday when it comes out called Ashes of Creation. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. It's been in development for some time, and like one guy put up the money for it, like $30 million, and then put a Kickstarter to like fund some more of it. But like he had like a build budget of 30 million that he fronted himself. And the Lazy Peon and Asmongold, that prick, did some videos on it recently, so it's gained a lot of attention from myself included. I watched Lazy Peon's video about Ashes of Creation, and it looks very interesting. Basically, it's like any other like fantasy style MMO, but there are no cities, there are no towns anywhere. What you have to do is a bunch of players have to go to a region and quest there for a while, and then like if every quest is worth like 1 point, just as an example, once you get up to like 30 points, a settlement will appear there, and so more players will show up because there are more quests there. And you know, if every quest they do is worth 1 point and they get like 100 points, then it turns into like a little village and it gets bigger. And there are more commodities, and then it's, you know, a town, and then like a hamlet, and then up to like a metropolis. And every region has the potential for a city, but only so long as players are there questing. So say you've got like a whole bunch of regions, and then one place becomes a settlement. All the surrounding regions can't become settlements, so they can't be like right next door to each other, which is very interesting. Plus, the type of town it will become is based on what race of people is there the most. So if it's like a bunch of dwarves, players that are playing as dwarves there, it'll be a dwarven city. Or if it's all elves in this like foresty region, it'll become an elven city, or humans, etc., etc. I think they've got like 9 races, and the class system was very interesting because it's set on an XY grid. And so I think there's, what did they say, 8 base classes, including Bard, which is going to be great. But their level cap is 50. When you start, you can select your class, and then when you get up to level 25, you can apparently like subclass into something else, and it creates your class for you. So like if you start as a Bard and then subclass into Cleric, you could be like a song master, or a holy choir person or something like that. So all in all, Ashes of Creation has like 64 classes, and then there are the pure ones as well. If you go up to level 25 as a Bard, and then you keep playing as a Bard up to level 50, they call you a minstrel. Fair enough. But that allows for some really interesting combinations. So like, what is a rogue bard called, or what is a cleric, I don't know, a cleric warrior? Are they called paladins, you know, or a tank cleric? Or are they just called war clerics? They have like 64 different classes. They all have their own names. Like if you're a bard, you're on this line, and then if you're a cleric, you're on this line, and wherever the 2 lines meet, that's your class. They have this whole big chart to show you, and it looks very interesting because it's going to be player driven, and of course there's 5 castles in the world, and only the great big guilds with enough muscle can stay in those castles. And of course you can siege the castles, and you can siege the cities, so you can tear them down. And if there's a city there, this dungeon opens up, but if there's no city there, you can't go to that dungeon at all. There has to be some sphere of influence for it to be like discovered and to keep the doors open, etc., etc. So it sounds very, very interesting, and it's going to allow for a lot of player agency. So I've been watching it very closely for the past week or so, thanks to Lazy Peon's video. And apparently this has been under development for quite some time. They've been selling like founders packages and cosmetics and all kinds of other crap for people that they can have when the game opens. Now, I'm not giving them my money until I see a release date, and you shouldn't either. Let me repeat that. Don't give them your money until you see a release date, because God knows we all learned our lesson from freaking No Man's Sky, and we learned our lesson from Mighty Number 9, and we learned our lesson, some of us did anyway, from Star Citizen, that vaporware piece of garbage. But Ashes of Creation looks very interesting, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on it and like reading all the threads on Reddit, and they've been very transparent as far as like they're not going to do pay to win, they're not going to do any convenience stuff in their cash shop like XP boosters or anything like that. They've been answering a lot of questions, doing a lot of podcasts, answering questions by the community, but again, not giving them my money until I see a release date, because we as a community of gamers have been burned way too many times. But I am excited, and I will hopefully be there when it starts. Until then, I've noticed that Final Fantasy XIV has gone free to play, which is very interesting, and I wonder if that's because of COVID-19 maybe. I know they have their own cash shop and their own like convenience stuff going on, but I have noticed at least the base game. I don't know if the expansions are free, but Final Fantasy XIV went free to play. That's very interesting, because they're one of the successful MMOs right now. It's not like they're folding in on themselves or anything. Their popularity has not been waning. They just released Shadowbringers, and that was a smash success. So, interesting enough, I suppose. What else have I been up to? Not a whole lot. Like I said before, I've just kind of been keeping my head down. The governor of Minnesota finally mandated masks because of this COVID-19 stuff, which he should have done before, but Target and CVS and a bunch of like big box places, Walgreens even, have said that like starting on August 1st they're going to be mandating masks in all of their stores, because the governor would not pull the trigger on it without bipartisan support. And too many Republicans think that COVID-19 is a political stunt, and it's not, because it's leaving a trail of bodies everywhere it goes. But I feel much safer now knowing that masks are the law, and you can get fined here. I think it's like $100 and a misdemeanor or something like that if a cop catches you like inside a business with no mask. Which I know there's not enough cops on the planet to enforce that, but what few do, bless them. My God, what a time to live in when people don't believe in a pandemic that's killing people. Fucking hell, man. What else? I've been working really hard on Shield Maiden as well. The next issue of Shield Maiden might be a little bit late. It is going to be the Anubis and Benefactor centered episode. And I know we haven't had like a lot of superheroing going on lately, but I'm sure you've noticed the stalwart shield maiden is more of a like abuse and recovery story than anything else. We will go back to our regularly scheduled punching thugs in the face, but until Wanda recovers, that's not going to be like up on the forefront. She needs time to kind of recover from like this loss of innocence, as far as being on the front lines of the fight of good versus evil. You know, she went outside her weight class and she suffered for it, so let's give her time to rest. Meanwhile, Anubis and the Benefactor, their romance has kind of been brewing in the background, so I thought we'd have like a nice payoff for that in this upcoming issue. I know I usually put them out like a few days before the start of the month, but their absolute due date, the absolute due date for this one is going to be like August 14th, so it'll be up before then, but maybe not by much, because I struggled with writer's block for a while, and I still have to contact my artist, Conrad Atega, to do the artistry work, and you know, he might take a week, he might take 10 days to do that, so What else? Not a lot else going on, I guess, at the moment. Ratchet and Clank, Beastars, Moons of Madness. Again, please check out Library Owl #2. That took so goddamn long to finish, and to finish it how I wanted to finish it. Just the sheer amount of effort that goes into those. You have no idea. I mean, I'm a one-man team, so doing anything that even resembles Library Owl takes so goddamn long. You have no idea. But I guess that's all for now. I just wanted to stop and check in with you guys and tell you what I was up to. So I don't know, maybe I'll make these like a monthly thing or an every 3 weeks kind of thing, because I think it's fun just to sit and talk about what I've been up to lately. So let me know what you think as far as Library Owl. Go check out Ashes of Creation. It needs more attention. I think, again, do not give them your money until you see a release date. I beg of you. Yeah, I guess that's all for now. So you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye!